Hi everyone, my name is Eddie or Edward Roth. Today I'm going to be presenting how homelessness in Tampa Bay affects public health and how faith-based organizations, are working to improve the well-being in many ways and, directly contribute and advance the sustainable goal number 3. So an overview of the report, first I'll go over how big the homelessness problem is in Tampa Bay, give us some figures, an idea on how to really work with this. Then I'll explain how it connects to Sustainable Development Goal number 3. And, that goal's main purpose is just to ensure the healthy lives and well-being of people. Next, I'll kind of go into how specific faith-based organizations are currently helping with the issue and supporting the homeless population within Tampa Bay. And finally, I'll present a solution that kind of fills the gaps in where these faith-based organizations are struggling to meet the demands for help and could improve health access for the homeless. So the issue in Tampa Bay, currently Tampa has about 2,000 people experiencing homelessness right now, and that number in families has increased by 28%, and that can largely be contributed to the cost of living increasing substantially. Rents increased about 40% between 2019 and 2023, while living while like wages have not really gone up to match it. Salaries haven't really increased, whereas the rent and other costs have really gone up. You can see this from the results of inflation. So some health impacts of homelessness. People experiencing homelessness, they can face untreated illness. They're not really able to access the health care that they need, so their illnesses only start to get worse. They have a direct exposure to weather. You can see how that is a big problem in a place like Tampa, who we experience hurricanes and all of this. Being on the streets, it really increases their risk to violence. I mean, they're not protected at all. They don't have anywhere to go. And being on the streets, it's not a good place to get nutritional food. So a lot of these people are struggling with poor nutrition. And you can see how all these factors kind of build on each other to really just decrease the health and well-being of these people, which is the direct goal of the UN Sustainable Goal number 3. Another big problem is that a lot of these people have chronic mental or physical health conditions, but they just can't really access the health care, kind of as previously discussed. So currently, there's a number of faith-based organizations that are helping to fill the gaps. Our current system of healthcare is not really in a place to assist these disenfortunate people. So a lot of these faith-based organizations are really helping to fill that gap and help these people out. The first one we'll look at is Metropolitan Ministries. They provide food, shelter, family support services, and many programs to help the homeless get into jobs. And so they're a big helper in Tampa. I've seen ads to help volunteer with them and things like that. But I really like how their focus is to rehabilitate the homeless into a working condition and help them, re-enter society instead of, you know, just supporting them in how they are now. They're really trying to make them better themselves and get them out of the situation they're in. Another big one is the Catholic Charities of the Diocese of St. Petersburg. On their website, they had many statistics that were very interesting. They house over 3,000 individuals, which is amazing. They've served over 200,000 meals, and they've given over 2,500 people financial service. I I really like the financial service opportunity also. They really teach these homeless people how to manage their money so that they can help get out of homelessness, similar to the Metropolitan Ministries program. But yeah, I think that's really great. And then the third and final one is a lot more well known. It's Salvation Army. They provide food, shelter, youth services, and then a big difference between them and the other two. And the other two still do this also, but Salvation Army, they put a big emphasis on substance abuse support, which a lot of the people experiencing homelessness right now, they are struggling from some sort of substance abuse disorder. And so Salvation Army helps them get the support that they need. And these services are really helping improve both the physical and mental health of people on the streets that our current healthcare system isn't really providing them. So it's pretty apparent to see how they're strongly supporting the Sustainable Development Goal number 3 of improving health and well-being. And so all these faith-based organizations come from a Christian background, and it's apparent in the Christian ethics how these faith-based organizations really exemplify it. The first one is Imago Dei, and this basically means that everyone is made in the image of God and has inherent worth. So basically, what that means is, you, me, and everyone else are God. So helping them is, helping God, and that kind of is what Matthew 25 is saying as well. It kind of teaches that caring for the sick, the hungry, and strangers is service not only to that person but to God Himself. And Matthew's book also goes into love thy neighbor, which love thy neighbor as thyself. It kind of emphasizes a compassion and responsibility to others as if it was yourself. And another good example that you hear about a lot in church sermons is the Good Samaritan story, which kind of reinforces that helping others is a responsibility, even when it comes to sacrifice. So you can see how these Christian ethical teachings are the foundation for the humanitarian work these organizations do. The Christian ethics really teach you to put yourself to the side and just really help the people who are in dire need right now. And so, a proposed solution that I thought of that would be really good would be like a mobile health outreach system. Even though these groups offer great services, homeless people still struggle to access consistent health care because of transportation issues. So I proposed a system of vans that have the same access to healthcare that the current clinics have, but are able to be mobile to meet these homeless people where they are. Because right now, it's kind of tough for homeless people to travel to whichever clinic these faith-based organizations have. This mobile health outreach program would allow the organizations to directly bring the care right to the homeless people. And so, this would be practical as well because using the vans instead of opening new clinics, it's far more cost effective. And, they would allow the organizations to reach many more people than they do now without requiring really any new infrastructure. It's not too big of a change as they have now. So these units, they can provide wound care, chronic illness monitoring, mental health check-ins, and help with getting prescriptions. They also allow for routine follow-ups, something the homeless individuals typically lack just due to those transportation issues as previously discussed. They can be staffed by volunteers and medical students. And, these organizations already have these volunteers just at their clinics. So it wouldn't be that far of a reach to just have these volunteers go in vans instead. And it would just make the whole system a lot more effective overall. And so it's apparent how this program could really help the Sustainable Development Goal number 3, because part of that goal is the routine care, and these vans directly fill in the gap that the organizations currently don't really have, and being able to routinely give these people the care they need. And so just another quick reinforcement. Why it works. It builds upon their prior network of volunteer. It's cost effective as opposed to buying new property and having to go through all the like deal that property has. All they have to do is buy a van, and it really fills in the gap of what they're not able to fill right now. So to wrap it all up, homelessness harms both the mental and physical health, and directly conflicts with sustainable goal number three. These faith-based organizations are already doing vital work to fill the gaps in our healthcare and social systems. It's apparent how their Christian ethics really motivate them to be leaders in this work. And a good proposed solution would be a mobile health outreach program that would strengthen their efforts and provide a practical way to expand healthcare access. But ultimately, addressing homelessness requires compassion, collaboration, and sustained support. Values that these organizations already embody. But yep, thank you. Here's some references to look over. But yep, thank you.